Exactly. Maybe that's why we're afraid of losing our consciousness when we die, right? Because so much preparation to reach a moment where all that information no longer exists. And maybe that consciously, we as human beings live with that fear that what we did for so many years of preparation, suffering, and collecting all this reaches a point where your body is fragile and your consciousness is strong for everything you have inside. But it's like,
We pass this, but is it that all this knowledge of ourselves, to whom do we transfer it to the future? What is our future? I follow him.
exactly. So that's what's nice is that you transfer your information, and maybe that's what people have a little bit of fear, is that they think that their information is going to go, but they don't realize that they are transferring it, and that the transfer of that information is that your information is going to continue to coexist because certain cultures, certain values, certain these even skills that person, that son or daughter is going to inherit, not only genetically but also because of the knowledge you gave and projected and how you invested in your children. It's how you planted your seed and consciousness in another human being. Let's even talk about the couple, not part of your conscience. With a partner, you begin to unify your consciousness to become one consciousness, don't you?
And above all, share. Hey, I already did, and I know where it's going. I know what the outcome is. So we change at this point. You have to make another decision. But I tell my children many times, I say this, I give you this advice. I want to spare you suffering because I already know what it is. The result gets angry because you spare him. Can it be 1 year, 2 years, 10 years of experience? And sometimes they don't take it because they want to experiment, but sometimes, and now I'm going to practice this as well, of saying, what is the bad thing I have done, to tell them what my decisions are bad, so that they also learn not only to say the good, but also the bad. I want them to know so that they know what is bad. That is, or the bad decisions I made, to also create awareness in them. For example, let the decisions that they learn only the good things that jump, that I don't want them to rise, but what are my bad decisions so that they can learn to be able to. And I think you're going to learn more from the bad decisions I've made in
Life, of course, is to raise awareness, no? Because if we begin to pay back how we acquire an ethical and moral conscience, I always rely on, for example, I am logically a Christian, and in Christianity you find that what is the Bible? No, then the Bible, as I said last time, is the consciousness of God. And based on that consciousness of God, you can raise awareness with the conscience of God. Why? Because God's morals and ethics are above us. And in that one in the Bible, you find all the experiences, halves and four halves of the human being of greed, envy, revenge. And he, through all these lives that have passed and messengers that they have had and prophets, etc., and even sending his own son, teaches you that the way is to do good, no matter what it costs. So suffer, and through suffering, your rewards will be solidified, like because you are going to feel good about doing good, and no one can take that away from you, and no one can take that value away from you. And that's what I wanted to be aware of. No, because sometimes we take the Bible, and especially in Christianity, you take the Bible to judge another person with the Bible. But the purpose of the Bible is not that you take the Bible and say, because you are seeing the beam in the other's eye and you are with the Bible giving it to him, No, the Bible was made because you became aware of God. You have that one-to-one relationship with Him, and you can discern your information based on God's consciousness. And the nice thing is that you have the opportunity to self-reflect your knowledge with superior knowledge. I don't know what you think, David, in about having that food of consciousness with a higher consciousness.
As you told, the Bible touched the consciousness of God, which was transmitted to several people, and that morality and ethics is not in detriment or in question. We know it's the right thing to do. And based on all these good and bad experiences within the events experienced by each of the protagonists called apostles, many events were generated in which a good or bad decision was made. Because not all actions are good. In other words, you have to be assertive in this part, but it helps you as a person to generate not only the bad things you see. If you act badly, how will it go? But also if you act well, what is that reward? I mean that there are good and bad things in our lives, but satisfaction is doing good things regardless of the sacrifices you have to make or the path you have to take. Good decisions generate gratitude, that is, awareness makes you do well, and that in the end generates happiness for you. And because the moment you make bad decisions, we're going to generate bad emotions. Why? Because we always want to win. But many times losing also generates gratitude. And you don't lose, let's say, you lose for yourself, but you create a consciousness.
That's how it is.
Next time, do things better and experiment.
Sure, you too. I mean, in retrospect too, it is valuing the process, not the process where you acquire the knowledge and wisdom to raise the awareness of the older. And that is why, for example, talking about, for example, an evolutionary consciousness, and in consciousness, it has a lot to do with the environment. Because we talk about the environment, we have a cultural environment wherein, especially the time of the 1980s, it was a different culture than Ecuador that exists today, not the law of the learned and all these things, logically. One, thank God, I was learning things that made that factor not so influential, because at the end of the day, whoever cheats at the beginning never ends well. No, then?
New York City.
There's so much more beyond the walls. Let's explore.
I'm a beast. You know I'm a beast. Welcome to the feast. My whole team off the leash. We don't know defeat. Everybody eat. Hey, you know I'm a beast. You know I'm a beast. Welcome to the feast. My whole team off the leash. We don't know defeat. Everybody eat. Hey, you know I'm a beast.
Can I run up the score, run up the board, breaking the mold? Ay, ay, walking the door. You know what happened? We step on the floor. Ay, ay, coming from one. You don't want problems, you already know it. Ay, ay.
Maestro style, cosmic call. Transform your mind. It is time to create. Maestro create. Science fashion everywhere.
I'm trying to coexist